Okay, it's recording. Hey guys, I'm back. I've been recovering from a cough and flu, so forgive me if I sound a bit under the weather. I'm still in the process of healing, and you might hear outside noises because I left my windows open. I kind of like to hear the birds and the people and the cars outside and to air my room. This video will be centered around self-care, which obviously comes in many different forms, right? We have mental, emotional, physical, and even social aspects of it. So I want to see what crystal card I can pull. Before I shuffle, I want to show you how it looks like. Okay. I'm not a crystal expert, so I will be reading off the card. Self-care. And forgive me if I'm not very familiar with the card's meaning. We have this one, lepidolite. It's a lithium-infused mica with rose and lavender-hued spa vibes. Oh, that's nice. Who needs it? The perpetually frazzled, the oh-so-cerebral, type A workaholics. Where to put it? In a bubble bath? On the meditation cushion? In fetal position? When to use it? When freaking out, or to prevent that, put the phone on Do Not Disturb. Hold lepidolite in each palm and just let yourself be for 5 minutes. Relax the muscles between your shoulder blades, lengthen your breaths, and let go of all the drama. It wasn't yours to begin with anyway. Enter your chill zone. So I guess this lepidolite brings us back to our body. It grounds us. It helps when you're overworked or have a lot on your shoulders or your mind. And it helps us detach from people that are just not useful to a situation. With lavender-hued spa vibes written here, it could have a relaxing quality to it, because I associate lavender with relaxation. I think it's a reminder to always stay calm, although that's not the easiest thing to do. Like for example, just the other day I was feeling very sick and I was freaking out a little because I just wasn't in my best physical state. Not going to go into details, but you know, my mother, she was very calm. She's very calm, and I learned that yes, when we're calm, it solves the situation. Had I freaked out, it would not have solved the problem. I needed to face it step by step. If it's a health issue, I need to go to the doctor and let them recommend something and not make a rash decision on my own. Although I had been going to the doctor a few times, I still needed, that regular checkup so that I get an informed decision, if that makes sense. Maybe I should pull 2 more crystals just to see. Self-care. Obsidian. Yes, obsidian is for boundaries, having boundaries with emotional people. Sorry, I should not have said emotional. It's okay to have emotions, but we need boundaries from people that are toxic, you know. It's okay to have emotions, but there is a limit to the kind and the extent of emotion. Like if we're being overly angry with someone, that's a boundary that's been crossed. If we are having our every thought and emotion being communicated to someone, you know, that's another boundary issue, because our friends cannot always be our therapist, and people cannot take everything. Sometimes it's important to understand that we cannot trauma dump onto people. We need to figure some of it ourselves. You know, that's a part of being an adult, is being emotionally independent. And the obsidian does remind us, you know, that we can say no to people. We can take a step back and say, this is too much for me. Personally, I don't think that just using the crystal is going to solve everything. Personally, I think that we do need to couple that with good communication and action that match, you know, make sure our words align with what we're saying. Okay, let's pull another crystal. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself when I'm filming, so it's really nice that a couple of you have commented on my other video. It's very reassuring to hear that you enjoyed the video and, you know, it helped you or something, because I don't know necessarily. I'm just reading the cards, right? Oh, that one. Fluorite. Is to help for distraction, and if you have a goal you're working towards or a vision. You use it when you want to take an uninterrupted 20 minutes to meditate, an hour to finish a book, or a lifetime to concentrate on your unique calling here on earth. I think in today's day and age, right, especially with, you know, TikTok and YouTube shorts, our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. So this is a reminder to us that just because something takes time doesn't mean it's boring. It might just need more effort. Perhaps that's a goal you had in mind for a while but never got to accomplish it because of little tiny excuses. But all these tiny little excuses will build up over time, and then it becomes a big ball, an escalation. That's pretty straightforward. Okay. What can we get for self-care? I'm trying to tell myself to not do too many takes for a video because I realize when I refilm things, it can end up a little scripted and the original message of the cards change, if I redo the spread or something like that. Oh. How many cards? 3. Strength. Today I maintain control of my emotions. I rise above self-doubt. I affirm my own power and stand strong in my unshakable faith. Today I know that I have the strength to overcome anything I encounter. I find my courage in the truth. Holding tight to the force of love, I triumph over fear. Strength, believing in yourself, consciousness. Today I pay attention to every thought and feeling that I manifest. My outer world reflects my inner consciousness. That's true. I pour the light of my awareness on my most constructive thoughts so they will grow and produce the experiences I want. Mindful of what I create in this universe, I become an expression of divine light. So being aware of our self-talk is very important, to be gentle and kind when you talk to yourself. And even as I am filming, I have to practice that because sometimes I'm thinking, oh, this video is not a certain way, but if we breathe, if we keep calm and try to work on our thoughts, which is, in psychology, they call it CBT, right? Working on your behaviors and thoughts, we change, sometimes without even realizing how much we have changed. And the third card is forgiveness. Yes. Forgiving someone doesn't mean allowing them to cross a boundary. It just means we let go of that anger and hurt. And we might even change our action. We might not even allow them into our lives. And that's okay. Forgiveness doesn't mean that we let people in again. Not always. Sometimes yes. And it could also mean forgiving ourselves. Like, for example, I had to refilm because I was coughing and I was not making a lot of sense, I felt, as I was talking. So I have to forgive myself sometimes. So, I've pulled 3 cards from each deck, and it's easier that way. It's easier to have 3 things to focus on as a start, rather than, focusing on everything that you need to improve on or work on, because that can be very overwhelming. So, what other cards should I use? I have my fairy deck. I like working with these oracle cards. Magical gateway. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown. Yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. Again, this to me feels like setting a boundary, releasing toxic people, even if it's family members, you know. I'm learning the cognitive, what's that called, distortions, and shoulds and musts are part of it. So thinking that you should do something or you must do something is a cognitive distortion, because really the truth is there are no rules. And even if people tell you things that, oh, this is family, you should go out of good intention, doesn't mean it's good for you. And it's important to recognize that and forgive yourself for allowing that. Magical gateway, so releasing the old, releasing what's not healthy. And pull two more from this deck. See what we can get. Transformation. The best is yet to come. This looks like Beyonce. Embracing change. Sometimes it's hard to embrace change when we are comfortable, you know. But perhaps change can be for the better. Perhaps we're not even aware of what has been missing from our lives. You know, the stories of like people that have grown up in difficult situations thinking that it's normal, and when they step out of it, you know, they realize, oh, in the real world this doesn't happen. It's kind of like that, right? One more card. So with the obsidian card, transformation card, forgiveness card, there's definitely a sense of letting go of toxicity. Light can penetrate the darkness. It's important to see the light despite dealing with difficult situations. It's important to... It's easy to know to get lost and wrapped up in the negative. Although, yes, we should talk about it, but the way we go about it, you know, if we're just doing it to gossip and to dump our emotions on someone, that's not helpful. But if we use it to be aware of our situation, and then, you know, sometimes humor helps. Having a bit of humor in a situation can help. And this might even mean approaching someone who you see as a light in the darkness, who can provide you that support, that positive energy. You know, you might not even need to discuss the tough things with them. With some people, there's no need to, because they just understand us, you know. And I think when we truly let go of a situation, it's when we are able to not feel the need to talk about a situation all the time. That's a sign that you've truly let go. don't want this video to be too long because my computer can't take it. But I do want to pull from my animal deck. Self-care. The lion and oyster. I'll put this up right. Both lion and oyster represent the energy of shining. Whereas the lion is more performative, it reminds me of Leo. The oyster is smaller, right? It recognizes its own special talent, its own unique qualities without needing to outshine other people. But they both, understand that they're unique in their own way. So sometimes self-care is a balance of that. Sometimes only you will be your only cheerleader, and that's okay. I mean, as we grow older, there's less and less need for validation, right? Like when you observe old people, they're so old already that they don't need someone to clap for them because they know, they have a knowing and understanding of themselves already. So the oyster represents that, I feel. And it's about being in touch with your emotions as well, because oyster is water energy. The lion to me is more of a leader energy. So we can't always be a leader in every situation. Sometimes we have to take a step back, and let other people shine. Let other people take the lead. And that's okay because being a leader can be stressful. So if other people want to take the stress off for you, then why not? Sometimes it's okay to receive that help. It's okay to be strong, but you don't have to be strong all the time. You can be vulnerable. It's okay to be in the receiving energy sometimes rather than the giving. Let's pull one more animal card. This one, hyena. It's dark, right? But there's a light and dark. Hyenas laugh, and this energy tells me that it's okay to laugh even in dark situations, because again, sometimes that is what will lighten the mood. The moon here tells me that the hyena sees both the light and the dark of a situation. So that may be something to ponder on. Okay. Hyena gives me a sense of picking up the scraps of other people, because that's what a hyena does, right? It takes the leftover food and, on a very basic level, like if you've been eating leftover food over and over again, nothing wrong with that, but some days you might want to treat yourself, Or if you've been letting other people take your opportunities. Perhaps it's time to step up and ask for what you want, boldly with the lion, Leo energy. There's no harm in asking for what you want, because sometimes the other person may not even know what exactly it is you want. And sometimes with some people, we need to do it directly, because some people need reminders and more deliberate communication, especially if they are not looking out for your interests. Then you need to look out for your own interests, right? And that's a lesson I've had to learn recently. My outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. Again, the moon with the reflection here. Again, watching our thoughts and inner feelings. I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. Okay, connecting to that spirituality. For some of you, is a form of self-care. Okay, one more card and we're almost done. Happiness is my birthright again. Some of you feel you don't deserve happiness. And sometimes we may not be aware of it, right? Because it may not seep into every aspect of our life. Maybe in creativity, for example, we're very good at allowing that, but when it comes to how other people treat us, we may not be as good. And sometimes it's important to set the tone in any relationship, that you deserve respect to, that you are a human being too, so even if people laugh at you or go behind your back with a hyena, you're still a lion. You can stand in your strength, and don't be a pushover. Like, sometimes not everyone is about love and light and being kind, right? Not everyone is about that. And it's a choice. It really is a choice. It's not about your circumstances, because allowing your circumstances to control you is an excuse, because there are people that have very hard jobs and they do that with a smile, and there are people with boring jobs and they complain and complain. So it's not about what's outside, it's about what's inside, and that's difficult to swallow, but I believe it's a bit of both. Yes, our environment affects us, but ultimately we can choose, because we cannot control what's outside. We can only control what's inside. Okay, I'm done here. I hope that this was somewhat relaxing. It felt a bit, I think this might trigger some people, but that was the message. I'm just a messenger, so I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!